Hello guys, we're going to take another notes video because unfortunately I'm not in school today and you have a sub, so please make sure you ask your sub any questions that you may possibly have over this concept because you're going to be working on it during class. I will be back tomorrow and I can answer any questions tomorrow that you may have over this before we get started on ratio graphs. So today is ratio tables. You should have already cut and glued this yellow sheet into your notebook. If you have not titled your page ratio tables, please title it ratio tables. And then make sure you date it 10/24/2019. So, here's what we do. Finding missing values in a ratio table. A ratio table is a group of equivalent ratios. So it is a group of ratios that are equal, that are clumped together. The value of a ratio table can be used to find the missing value. So, here are my examples, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and there are steps. Okay, I'm not the biggest fan of these steps, so I honestly don't even want us using the steps that they gave us. I'm going to create our own steps. So we're going to cross off step 1, because that's not going to be our step 1. Our step 1 is to simplify the ratio given. So simplify the ratio that is given. So when I look at example number 1, I have a blank and a 5 because we go column 1 to column 2. So it's 4 to 5, or whatever to 5, 16 to whatever, 20 to 25, 36 to whatever, and whatever to 60. We have to fill in those 4 blank spots. Okay? The only ratio that they give you has to be in column 1 and in column 2. So I only have 20 and 25. It is the only ratio that they gave me. So I need to take 20 and 25 and I need to put it into simplest form. So I'm going to write it off to the side, 20 over 25, and I need to simplify it. Put it into simplest form just like we'd put ratios, just like we would put fractions. Okay, so 20 and 25, what can I take out of 20 and 25? Hopefully everyone told me a 5, so I can divide by 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So 20 25ths is simplifies down to 4/5. So I looked, do I have a 5 anywhere? Yeah, it's right here. So if this is a 5, this blank spot has to be a 4 because it is 4/5. 20 25ths. So hopefully that made sense. You want to get it into simplest form. Make it fully simplified. Your next step is not that. Second step, we are going to multiply using the rainbow method. So what I mean by that is I'm always going to go from my simplified version down to the next one. So if I covered up this right here, I ask myself the question, how do I get from 4 to 16? And with ratio tables, guys, it's always multiplication. It's never adding, it's never subtracting. You can divide, but no, just do multiplication. It is always multiplication. Multiply, multiply, multiply. Always, always, always. So I ask myself, 4 times what gives me 16? Well, I know that 4 times 4 is 16. So I write times 4. That means if I do it on one side, I have to do it on the other side. So that means I have to take 5 times 4, and 5 times 4 is 20. So 20 goes in that spot. I then keep going. I already have 20 and 25. But let's look at our rainbow method to prove why. 4 times what gives me 20? Well, 4 times 5 is 20. And if I do my next one, 5 times what is 25? Well, 5 times 5 is 25. So they're exactly the same. If I go to do the next one, I have 4 to 36. Well, 4 times what gives me 36? 4 times 9 gives me 36. And if I do 4 times 9 on one side, I have to do 4 times 9 on the other side, or 5 times 9 on the other side, and 5 times 9 is 45. Then the last one, 5 times what gives me 60? 5 times 12 gives me 60. So that means I have to do 4 times 12, and 4 times 12 is 48. So 48 goes in its place. So all you are doing, and we can cross off step 3, all you are doing is putting the ratio in simplest form and then using your rainbow method to make sure that whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So that means that with this one, I have 12 and a blank. I have 36 and 78. So I need to simplify 36 78. It's a little bit trickier because that number is a little bit larger. So if I have 36 78, the first number that automatically pops into my head is 2, because 6 and 8 are even numbers. So I can divide a 2 out of both. So when I do 36 and I divide it by 2, I will end up getting 18. When I do 78 and I divide it by 2, I'm going to end up getting 39. Now here's the tricky part. That is not in simplest form, because I can still divide by a number. 18 and 39 are divisible by 3, which means I can do 18 divided by 3, which is 6, and I can do 39 divided by 3, which is 13. So that means that I have 6/13 as my simplest form. So 36 changed to a 6, so I'm going to put the 6 up top because I don't have the 6 anywhere. So I'm going to add a little box there. 13 with the 6, so it goes there. Now I can use my rainbow method to multiply. So I know that 6 times 2 gives me 12, so I have to do 13 times 2. 13 times 2 is 26, so 26 goes in that blank. I keep going. I know that 6 times 10 gives me 60. So 13 times 10 gives me 130. I then have to figure out, well, what times 13 is going to give me 143. Now that's something I can't really do off the top of my head, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of guess and check, or I'm going to have to do 143 divided by 13, and that would give it to you as well. If you did 143 divided by 13, you would get your answer as well, and that ends up being 11. 13 times 11 is 143, which means I need to do 6 times 11, which is 66. And with the last one, I do the same thing. 13 times what gives me 169. I either need to do a guess and check method, or I need to do 169 divided by 13. Whatever that answer is gives me my answer. It ends up being 13 because 13 times 13 is 169, which means I need to do 6, multiply it by 13, and that is going to give me 78. Okay, so that is 1 and 2. With the sub, you guys are going to do 3 and 4. The sub will decide exactly how she wants you guys to do these and practice them. To do them on your own, do them as a whole group, but the sub will make that decision. I am, however, if you want to pause this video and start doing 3 and 4, that would be great, because then when the video is, or class is a little bit further, unpause this video because I'm going to explain your homework to you as well, and I'm going to go grab that, so I'll be right back. Okay, so this is your homework assignment. It is a ratio table page, but instead of the ratio tables being up and down, they're going side to side. They look more like a fraction, and that is okay. You do the exact same thing. It's just up and down like a fraction instead of the side to side motion like our notebook showed. So I'm going to do one with you, or maybe two with you. So if we do this first problem together, first things first is I must put the one ratio that I have into simplest form. So I have 2/6 here. I need to simplify 2/6. Well, I know that 2 can be divided into both. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I have 1/3. Well, here's a 3, so I know the 1 must go on top of it. Sorry, you couldn't see that. Then I do my rainbow method, because I know that 1 times 2 is 2, and that means that 3 times 2 is 6. Then I do the next one. 3 times 3 is 9. So 1 times 3 is 3. And the last one, 3 times 6 is 18. So 1 times 6 is 6. And that is my answer. I have a 1, 3, and 6 in my blanks. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's do the second one. Okay, so this will be the last one I'll do with you, and then you get to do the rest for homework that is due tomorrow. We will go over it as a class tomorrow. So I have 18 and 72. I need to put that into simplest form. So I asked myself, what number can I take out of 18 and 72? Well, I know that I can take a 2 out of both. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to do 18 over 72. And I'm going to divide it by 2 because they are both even numbers, so I can get rid of it. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 72 divided by 2, once I do that math, is going to give me a 36. So I have 9/36. That's still not in simplest form. So I still need to divide out. I know that 9 goes into 36, so I can divide by 9, because 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 36 divided by 9 is 4. So I have 1/4. If I look over here, I don't have 1/4 written anywhere. So I'm going to add in an extra box, and I'm going to write 1/4, because I want to match everything with the simplest version. It's the easiest way to do it. Because then I ask myself, well, 1 times what is 10? 1 times 10 is 10. So that means I have to do 4 times 10, and 4 times 10 is 40. Then I do the next one. 4 times what is 80? Well, 4 times 20 is 80. So 1 times 20 is 20. And then the last one, I have 1 times 15 is 15. So I have to do 4 times 15, and 4 times 15 would give me 60. And that fills in my blanks. So I hope this helps. I hope this makes sense. Ask the sub plenty of questions. Make sure you get extra help. I will be there tomorrow. We'll go over this. We'll make corrections, things like that as needed. Have a great rest of your day, guys. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.